Alright, just for Zor, we've got Polish. Okay. So the pawn on b5 serves to keep the knight out of these two squares. Okay. And I tried not to play a4 because it's nice to have this option of putting your knight on a4. Now the only thing is they might just go a4 here. That's okay though. They go a4, I'll go a3, and then maybe this will become a target. Okay, so now they've got two guys on that. I have to figure out how I'm going to address that. If I go queen b3, it's probably here, queen b4, d5, c5. That's getting a little... Probably just d3 here. Okay. So it's kind of like a reverse Sicilian now. If you think about if black played e4 and white played c5, right? So because of that, it makes sense to open up the c file. Because like in the Sicilian, we get counterplay on the c file. Now I could go knight f3 or maybe rook here first. Queen a4. Lots of options. Okay, I like this, and if they go bishop b4, then I'll go queen c2, because the bishop takes away this square from the knight, so my queen wouldn't be... Yeah, there you go. Hey, thank you for the tip. Yes, I do need to play faster. It is not 15 minutes, you're right. Okay. So e5 is hanging. Probably just f6 is good here. In this instance, f6 would be a good move because it also takes away knight g5 ideas. Because I could kick the bishop there. So I could go bishop e2. Let's go bishop e2. Now we're ready to castle. I appreciate everybody tuning in. If you have any of your games that you'd like me to look at, do join our Discord channel and send me a message. I like to analyze viewer games, so I could do that on an upcoming stream. Our Discord channel, if you type in !Discord, it'll give you the link. Okay, so if I take, bishop takes, do I want to go rook here? Maybe knight here and here is actually better. Ah, they're threatening knight b4. Is that really something to worry about? Yeah, that would be a little annoying, wouldn't it? Okay. Let's simplify. bring some pressure here. Now, I think e4 makes sense with the idea of playing d4. Because my opponent has two potentially strong bishops here. Now I gotta be careful. If I do play d4, it will open up this bishop. So I gotta make sure that's really what I want to do. Okay, let's prepare it first. Okay, we got our rooks on files that are ready to be opened. Well, the D file anyway. And we're ready to play d4. Open up some lines. Now, if my opponent ever takes here, I do have this idea of taking here. If they take, I take the bishop. Okay. So what happens here? If I take, how am I taking back? If I take here, can they now play that move? No, because then I play check, and I got 96 winning material. Okay. Now I've got rooks on open files. Beautiful. Compare my rooks with my opponent's rooks. Opponent's rooks are not on open files at the moment. Now, queen e7 would be a big mistake I would take, and then bishop c4, pinning the queen to the king. So don't fall into that. Maybe bishop f7 is the best move here. Yes, and opponent does play that. Now, can I take advantage of the fact that the bishop is awkwardly placed? If I played here, and then here, knight f3... Yeah, it's looking a little fancy, isn't it? Okay, I'm just going to play bishop c4, because now I am looking at putting a knight into e6. It does allow my opponent to play knight g4, threatening here. Okay. Boy, oh boy, I really want to put my knight here, but then they just take it. So I could take... I suspect they're going to take it with the queen. Do I want to keep the tension? I don't know what I want to do. Play f3. I mean, it is weakening on this diagonal. That's the only thing. Now let's play h3. Because I don't want to weaken that diagonal if I don't have to. So that prevents the knight from coming out. Okay, let's solidify. Okay, let's go rook here, protect the pawn. I'm reluctant to take on f7 because that helps out my opponent. Ooh, threatening a mate there. Okay, it looks like I'm going to have to play this move. I don't want to. let's see what they're going to do. If I can snap that knight off, then my knight will have f5. And I do like my knight on f5. So yeah, I did take a crappy knight of his. Oh! Okay. Interesting. Well, I'm going to do it this way. Okay, and then I think I can win the f6 pawn. Very interesting. Thankfully, we've got 2-second increment. So I have some chances here. I should be winning because the king, black king, is rather weak. Okay, that's what I was hoping for, so I could take on a5. King can be an active piece in the endgame. Unfortunately, my opponent is not going to be able to stop my pawns. Okay, let's push. All right. Okay, that was nice. I did make that time back. Yes, thank you. Thank you for your encouragement. So let's have a look here. So here the evaluation is +3 apparently. Wow. I must have missed a tactic here perhaps. Oh, e4 right away was best. Okay, e4, bishop f7, and then d4. Takes, and then rook here. Okay. It's kind of like what happened in the game. Okay. I prepared it. Okay, so engine didn't care for this move. It likes b6, which I did consider. Ah, but I didn't appreciate that I would then have knight b5. You want me to play bullet? Yeah, that ain't happening. So they would have to play, or they would likely play c6, because then I don't have this move. But now the bishop is weakened a bit. Oh, they're actually saying knight takes here, with the idea that takes followed by takes, I believe. And I've got two guys on that. Okay. One thing I wanted to highlight, though, during the game was, if anybody has studied Jeremy Silman, they'll be familiar with the word imbalance. So let's go to the position that I had in mind. Ooh, that was a blunder, apparently. Oh, because then they could take on e4. We both missed that. Okay, so here's a really good instructive example. This knight is not doing anything. It's been on h6 for the whole game, and it's not really participating that much. So you would think I wouldn't want to trade it. But that's exactly what I did. I played bishop to c1, and then I took it off the board. And the reason why I did that was not because I wanted to necessarily relieve my opponent from having a bad piece, but I wanted this square for my knight. A knight on the 5th rank that is supported by a pawn is a very strong piece. Now my opponent really surprised me by playing this move. I didn't think that was necessary. I thought even just rook e6 was fine. But Engine is saying +6 here for white. So, I don't know here. Maybe... I don't even know if I have to find a killer move here just yet. I could just improve the position. Anyway, in the game, my opponent played this move. And they were probably thinking that, okay, I take, they take. And it's rook and bishop versus queen. But I saw that this was a very strong piece because it's supported. And if I were to try to infiltrate with queen there, it could be a little annoying because they could defend this stubbornly. So I just figured, hey, let's get rid of that bishop. And my opponent's pawns, I knew that they would be vulnerable. So that's why I took. So on the one hand, it looks like my opponent has 10 points for my 9 points. So that should be okay for my opponent. But the key thing is my opponent's king was way too weak, especially the pawns. So it didn't matter that my opponent had two rooks. My queen was much superior than those two rooks. So I thought that was a fairly instructive